a little bit of what Paragon played in the past, but pull out something new. Go aggressive on that as well. If the rest of the team is in that mentality, go forward with the rest of them. Put the pedal to the metal.
Gravity's also found success with engage comps. Remember, they were playing a ton of assassins. They were having St. Vicious with engaged champions. That's how they like to play. And Winterfox also found a lot of success with like Kassadin mid and triple dives with Avalon on a tank.
That's
but Kassadin's out of the picture. Pobelter has to find something else.
Right. We also saw them putting Pobelter on things like Lulu and whatnot. Not his normal carries. Like you were saying, those Kassadins and the champions of those liking will be the ones for him to carry on. Hecarim getting banned out. We've been seeing a bit of the horse on the field lately. That Fizz as well, not so much, but still respected here from Winterfox over on Gravity's side.
A lot of top lane bans coming out here from Winterfox, whereas Gravity, a little bit of a flex there, so a lot of top lane bans. I would be surprised to see a Lissandra as well. There it is off the field. So far, 4 top lane bans across the map. These teams, Gravity, it's really hard to ban them out because they're trying so many new things. So Victor will still be on the field if Keen wants to bring that out again. Pobelter could also bring that out. We'll have to see what he does.
The Kennen definitely banned out there. We saw the initial fight that Winterfox had yesterday in their game. That Haunting Guys build straight off from Avalon was interesting, but delivered the damage for the early game that they needed.
Kennen builds are kind of up in the air.
They are.
People are like, let's build Rylai's Crystal Scepter in that last
It scares me because I'm just like, build Azanias, please. I feel safe, you feel safe, the people are happy, and that's what counts.
your enemies don't feel safe.
No, exactly. That's what you want to achieve with that. So now we're into the picks. Seeing all the bans out, we did get Morgana as the last one after that, Lissandra. So more top, Zyrene. More top and Flexi. Flexi picks all around.
That's true. There's a lot of things still left up, though. The top lane is very robust in terms of champion pool. Maokai. You also have Gnar still available.
There is that Rek'Sai, however. Nidalee still on the field here. We haven't seen Helios kind of take that too much under his wing. Actually, I believe that will be no times that he's done that. We do still have Jarvan and Viap, so if they want to go for the dive composition we've seen Winterfox loving, they have a Maokai and possibly a little bit more with that Vi or Jarvan.
Yeah, Helios hasn't picked up the Nidalee just yet. We've seen him only on things that are dive buddies with Avalon, the Vi, the Rek'Sai, the Jarvan, things that can go in and close that distance, back his brother up.
Yeah. See Paragon Comfort coming in here. Corki gets locked in one more time, which makes me think they may go for the 2v1. He was very safe in that Corki play, almost split pushing at times when the team was trying to just kite fights for him to get that farm up. St. Vicious locking in the Rumble for Haunter. These guys have a bit of that objective control now if they can get themselves into place at the right time. And we have Bunny Fufu's Thresh on the field, so there's some plays to be made there for sure for him.
Definitely keeping your mid lane picks for way further down. Gravity and Winterfox, a lot of bans towards top lane, and then they immediately pick up top lane champions, and look at that.
Again. Well, he was saying, Keen, you're not going to get it 3 times in a row. I want to play it 2 times in a row now. So Pobelter actually takes back on the Victor.
You only get 2 in a row, and then you have to hand it off.
It's 2x Victor, and then you're just BMing. You can't play it 3 times in a row. You're hogging it.
At this point, though, I'm very interested to see what Keen is going to play into this. You know, Hecarim is also a Keen pick, so it's a double ban when you ban it against Gravity, because Haunter plays it, Keen plays it. And Victor's biggest weakness is assassins in the mid. So something like a LeBlanc might work out for Keen, or if he's going to go with a completely different style and they'll go like Orianna, we'll have to see what he does. But the Victor is most vulnerable to gap closing assassins.
Now, a lot of people see or have not seen Victor. Will Victor carry the game for them if Pobelter gets going?
Victor can carry a game once you make it to the middle of the game. Once he gets that level 13,
so it kind of has to be
upgrades.
Optimal early game.
Exactly.
All right. Pobelter can make that happen. He plays safe and can also control good CS throughout the first 10 to 20 minutes. There's that LeBlanc you were talking about for a bit of that pressure back onto him, that assassin-style play. Cop picks up Graves as we wait for Winterfox to round out the composition now with their support.
Very interested. Yep, there you go.
Lots of Leona.
Okay, so he goes straight forward. I was like, Janna and Leona, one of those 2 for Altec here. He wants to go hard, though. He's not disengaging any fights.
So locked in, like you said, gotta go hard. We just saw Altec on the screen, and he was talking about how he likes to play so the team can get something out of it, make sure that he can get Paragon fed, and then Paragon makes plays off of his. He's got it right, and it's always easier said than done. They just gotta make it work in game now. 30 seconds on the clock as these guys talk about what they want to achieve last in their compositions. What will we be seeing from these teams?
Well, Winterfox's team is more of the same, except Pobelter, he can carry on that Victor.
Yeah.
But they have the Dive Brothers top. They also have Paragon and Altec, both of them synergizing on extremely aggressive types of champions that want to go forward. Corki, not so much, but the way Paragon plays it, he is extremely frontline oriented. Then you look over at Gravity's team,
right,
and these guys have the Rumble, the Rek'Sai, the LeBlanc. This is a mid-game comp that wants to tear you apart early and then just continue to secure objectives. That is
That's a hearty handshake
you
right there. Yeah, you stop. I'm not stopping until you stop. I can shake your hand better. Ready to get in the game?
It's only awkward. Yeah,
you ready?
Yeah, I want to get in the game.
Let's get into the game, everybody. We're just about to get into this one and get that Twitter account loaded up because we're looking to see who you think is going to win this match. Send hashtag GVWin or hashtag WFXWin to @LOL Esports. The crowd's ready. Let's get into game 4. The Rift is waiting to be scuttled upon.
Ooh, there's already things. It doesn't get scuttled on for a couple minutes.
That's true. That's true. That's why the players will scuttle first.
There you go.
That's right.
They're all very lively. They're actually scuttle a little faster at the start.
Yeah.
Get out of the base, scatter!
Gotta go fast. So we'll see who can get into position, expecting those deep wards to figure out where the lane swaps will be, if we get any. But like we said, Paragon likes to have that safe early. Corki's usually swap.
Well, here's the thing, though. Winterfox were able to capitalize off level 1.
They were aggressive.
They're going to do the exact same thing. That's the same ward they placed yesterday. It's just mirrored because they're on the opposite side.
Yep.
And now they're all sitting in this brush. Is it going to work twice? It doesn't look like it's going to work twice because they're on the complete opposite side of the map. But hey, if it worked once, it almost had you beat TSM.
Don't change it. Don't fix it. Just let it go.
It ain't broke.
So it looks like they're going to be actually keeping it safe on their side. Like you said, it's what they did against Team Solo Mid. Able to pick up a few kills. Even with those kills, though, you still have to mention we saw 1-0-1 go to Avalon in the top lane. Those 2 kills that they did get across the board, one was also to Altec, didn't actually help them too much in that early game. It's not something they were able to control.
Yeah, it really got out of hand after Bjergsen turned online and just walked around with the Zed.
I think we heard Lustboy saying the same thing. You know, they weren't that scared about it. They knew they had the stronger late game. So Winterfox has to know these advantages need to be pressured immediately once they get them. Gravity's also a team that won't let you get too far if you're resting on your laurels when you do get those.
Yeah, you can't sit on just a gold lead that you got from off of First Blood. The game is not over that soon. Despite what Solo Q might tell you, it's not over off First Blood, especially before 3 minutes.
So it looks like it will be quite mirrored. Winterfox enters into Gravity's jungle to start, and on the other side, the same. So this is going to leave now Pobelter and Keen, rather, I should say, to fight each other in the mid lane. We'll see if Keen can actually get an advantage with that assassin play on the Victor.
It's actually very interesting here how Winterfox decided to do this, because Hauntzer was starting the Wolves by himself. St. Vicious gets the solo experience on the camp. Then if you look at Winterfox's side, they didn't have the Maokai start at the Raptors to take that camp on their side. Instead, they pull him up to the top, and they have a triple jungle with the support for a little bit for Winterfox's side. So a little bit more split experience there. Or not split experience, but at least they are just allocating everybody there, and they're leaving their solo laner as the AD carry.
All right, so Hauntzer to the top lane. I was actually going to say we see a lot of top laners go back thinking it's that time. And sometimes it'll cost them their life. Sometimes it costs them just staring at the wave, hoping they're in range to get that. And you can still see Avalon is with Helios still. They're sharing that experience. So you're going to see now Hauntzer roaming around trying to find if there's anything left in the jungle. Just the ward for safety, rather.
And crack open a scuttle crab together.
Got to share it.
Yeah. But right now, it's just about the wave clearing, the wave freezing as well. Because right now, Gravity have a freeze that's moving towards them bottom, and up top, this freeze is actually moving towards the opposite side as well.
Yep.
So both lanes are in great positions.
Great stick there. You can kind of see how the distortion would really mess with Pobelter's laser if you can't target that right, and then you just kind of flash backwards.
It's hard to hit on something that's so mobile, and the fact that you're almost never going to hit your W onto a LeBlanc because of her mobility is very big. You're never going to get that gravity field off.
I like that by Hauntzer, actually keeping his gauge just at a level where he can do some max damage even though he got pushed out. Keeping himself safe there would definitely help if he gets the 3v1. He might be able to take someone down in the act. Pobelter still scoring some laser shots as he can, but Keen is definitely keeping up in his face and trying to keep those distortions on point.
Just trying to poke him out
Yep.
as much as possible. He's ran through all his potions at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see in the beginning, especially when you get them under their turret constantly. Let's see, Keen actually already backing pink wards coming out for Saint and Keen. Helios has already picked one up, actually, and they've placed that towards their blue, so they're actually expecting that bottom lane of Cop and Bunny Fufu to be getting in there with some wards.
It's actually very interesting that he backs that early because he had the lane pressure, he had the potion advantage, and once you just keep trading with Pobelter and whittle him down to the point where he is forced to back and miss a wave, instead, shoves the wave, backs, tries to get back very quickly, and he's going to do that right now. So he's going to clear this wave as fast as he possibly can on Keen's side and try to have this crash against the turret.
Nice ward in the bottom lane, thwarting out Helios. And they actually have to leave the lane together. They know it might be more advantageous to get themselves in the jungle and keep sharing that experience. Pushed up on the top turret now, Paragon and Altec. More kind of worried about the CS and just a few shots on the turret. Doesn't look like they're trying to take it down too quick. That ward as well that Helios placed actually stopped Saint from getting one of his own in there.
This has been a very standard, very equal early game. Nobody's made a big mistake that's been capitalized on at all.
Right.
So they're neck and neck, just in terms of gold, in terms of CS at this point. Across the board, nobody's getting a big advantage. Which is good to see, because after what happened yesterday to Winterfox, or sorry, to Gravity in the top lane after a hard shove and a hard push on a turret, they don't want to get that type of lead over to the other side again.
Well, we'll see if Winterfox can get out a gank here, as well as St. Vicious. He was the top side, but now sees Helios in the jungle. They're going on to Avalon in the bottom here. They actually get the hook onto him. I don't know if there's going to be too much follow-up there, but a little back and forth. That was a flash blown, so that may be a return. I was actually just about to mention the top laners. This is kind of the time we see when people are going to go top and going to start trying to get that gank in.
Yep, again, around that time, you see Altec, he's very aggressive, but look at that, the Wolf Spirit stalking them. They're very aware of what's going to happen to this top lane on Gravity's side.
The whisper of the Wisp, slowly telling Hanser that he needs to get out alive. Strength in the mid lane from Keen, knowing there's a whole slew of people top lane, so he can go a little bit more aggressive. And they're taking small advantages here. Gravity's going to be going for Dragon.
They allocate a lot of people to the Dragon, just two here from Gravity, but that's two people who aren't going to be around the top lane. And it looks like they're lane swapping it back. Once you hit this time, around 7 minutes is when the turrets drop their fortification buff, where they take 30 less damage from basic attacks from champions.
Yeah.
So you get your BF sword, you get your Sheen, and then you lane swap it back so that you can now shove down turrets. Because if you don't, there's a big threat to your own.
Well, Dragon going over to Gravity nicely, just around 7 minutes. Seeing that BF sword picked up by Cop and Sheen on the side of Paragon. We'll see how they work that. Pobelter's first back was actually for that Negatron cloak. He was definitely feeling the pain. We'll probably turn that right into an Abyssal Scepter.
So Victor's not going to dominate you very early on in the game.
Right, that's the build-up.
It's level dependent, it's upgrade dependent, and item dependent. And going for the Negatron cloak is not terrible. It's not like a LeBlanc going for a Negatron cloak first back, because she needs to have a specific curve to the way that she plays, like dominate early, then transition that into mid-game, late game.
And how often do we see kind of a change in what the Victor will spike or try to level first?
In terms of ability?
More so the laser upgrade. And
yeah, you will upgrade the laser first, and you will upgrade that with your prototype into the next one, the Mark 1, because of the fact that it gives you 40% more damage on the E. Then you get the Q upgrade later, but the reason you don't get the Q upgrade first is because it's not a low enough cooldown until you get level 13, because you max it second.
Okay.
Otherwise, the movement speed is just a waste.
Definitely not a champion tons of people play, but always good to know what Pobelter and what Pobelter's doing and going through his head through the process. Picking up blue here, we'll see if he has a better time against Keen in the mid lane, who just got the same treatment from St. Vicious. He's actually pretty hurt after Gromp, so we won't see him back into the jungle. We may actually see Helios. It looks like he's going to take the same hit from Gromp as well. So the jungler's out, still waiting for these guys in the mid lane to go at each other, if they even will. More so onto Keen for that fact.
Yeah, at this point, though, there was a little bit of advantage that's made itself clear, and it's the top lane.
Right.
Winterfox shoved that lane in and then gave over Dragon to Gravity, and Hanser was just free farming under the turret when they were lane swapping it back. And Avalon didn't have that luxury in the bottom lane, and now he's in a matchup up top that isn't very favorable for Maokai. It's a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
Rumble has a lot of kill potential on him, but Avalon has more gank pressure potential.
Definitely impressed by the fact that Hanser kept it so safe up there with the fact that he went so early as well. Keeping the range and keeping in range enough for the experience. Nice. St. Vicious stopping it back there. I don't know if this is going to turn into too much. That's a great placement of the gravity field, and they can't get too much more out of it.
Got to snap back a little faster than that. Took a turret shot for it. Now they get to shut this wave out. Pobelter has to back. They get his flash. A lot of pressure exerted on this mid lane. This is actually the first big move that we've seen that's resulted in some type of advantage other than a dragon.
And we just saw both Saint and Helios back, so coming out of base, Saint definitely wanted to make something happen.
They draw 3 people to the middle to start damaging this turret. So Winterfox are actually going to lose this turret in the mid lane, and Gravity are going to pick this up off of the Saint Vicious gank onto the immobile champion of Victor. But look at this, they're going to answer it up top. Haunter, no flash.
There was the flash blown. That was probably from Altec's engage. The Cataclysm sticks. They used quite a bit to take him down. He tries to get the Rumble ultimate out just in the end. This looks like it could be scary.
Yeah, they're trying to collapse here. 3-on-3 in the top lane. They got rid of that middle turret.
Yeah.
But turrets are worth more than a kill, so they actually come out on top on Gravity's side. Now they get all this pressure over Victor. And when you free up a LeBlanc to have different roam routes to other lanes, it's very dangerous, and it allows her to start snowballing.
And those roams are only going to get shorter once they start knocking down these outer turrets. A lot easier to roam through the small part of your enemy's jungle than back through the river, back through the river.
Yeah, and that's something that Keen was always known for back when he was over in Oceania, was his roam timings. The fact that he would show up at the weirdest times when you aren't expecting it, and the communication on Gravity to communicate where wards are and when they are down is going to be very important for him to get these ganks off, to get these roams off, and get his LeBlanc snowballing.
Well, they only have the one forward ward for now, just behind the red of Helios on their top side, so won't be seen out just yet. Helios looks like they may actually be trying to get their first forward wards in here. He may be providing safety for Altec as they go right around towards the Raptor camp here. They're actually putting a lot of members to this, so I think Gravity knows this is happening.
They saw them run in there with the side ward.
They don't know how far they went, but you can see Keen sweeping that one out. They don't want to get in any scary situations.
They don't know they left, though. Because,
that's true.
Because that ward that was placed in the side bush in mid was avoided by Fog of War. Now there's a lot of people down bottom on Winterfox's side.
This would definitely help to get the game going. Maybe if Pobelter was here as well. Winterfox trying to capitalize on something here after losing mid-turret. Would definitely help to open up the map, but again, kind of just walks away. This has been happening for both teams. They approach a situation and nothing really comes out of it.
Another camp coming up to the top lane, this time on the opposite side. Trying to help out Haunter.
Shh. So close. Nope.
Huh?
They're going to go for it.
Go.
He's going to throw down the ulti. If he gets a good twisted advance here, he can actually dodge quite a bit of damage. That's the pop-up. He can twisted advance actually right out of the Rumble ultimate, but he can't because Keen comes as well. They're able to lock down that kill onto Avalon in the top lane. It took quite a bit of time to get that one down, but they finally start to spark things up.
Very quickly out of the aggro range of the turret, it just swapped over away from St. Oh!
That's what we need to start seeing. If the ultimates are blown, that means options are going to be open for other teams to go in. Right now, Cop and Bunny Fufu still have to be a little afraid of the crowd control provided from Altec, so they back off. But here now comes the roam from Pobelter. We may start to get a little bit more action.
And Helios coming to this bottom lane. They saw LeBlanc top. They know that threat is gone. Now, instead, they're going to shove the mid lane on Gravity's side, and Winterfox are going to try to pressure the objectives on the bot side of the map.
I think this might turn into what could be our first dragon. We have a walk to lane for Avalon, which means the teleport will still be up, and the roam already from Keen has put himself on the bottom side of the map.
And they're trying to get Keen wrapped around. They're trying to get him all the way down here. There's a TP from Avalon.
Teleport TP, most efficient type, so he'll actually get a good cooldown off of that. But it will not help with the turret or a fight. It may, however, start to bleed into this dragon.
Right now, this is a timing thing, because they're going to get this turret on Winterfox's side. Gravity are going to try to press top turret with Haunter, try to take that, but in the meantime, Gravity are going to shove middle, top lane, and Winterfox are going to go for the dragon, which will be their first of the game.
See how much they respect that dragon and see how many they leave.
It's not a worth trade if they get any of these turrets, though.
They're actually backing off of that. They put a pink ward onto dragon, and they may still lose a good amount of health on this turret. That's going to be prepped for an easy takedown.
And top.
If Gravity want to return. Top lane, that's going to be an easy hit for Haunter. He's also got a wave to work with there and a rotation up now from Bunny Fufu and Keen to keep it safe. Looks like they'll just be there to back.
The threat of Keen coming down for the roam caused the teleport from Avalon, and Keen had already shoved mid lane out. So he just returns to it, shoves it, gets that pressure, and Haunter holding on to his teleport and shoving up the top wave to get them a turret. Now, because of all the backs, this middle turret's going to go over to Winterfox. They're just exchanging objectives right now.
I'd say that's good for Winterfox. A little bit behind with the Maokai right now.
They're going to walk straight into Rumble here. They know he's there.
Oh, another missed Solar Flare from Alltech just on the outside, though. Looks like everybody has the better of him. They look like they're about to be on point, but they just step outside.
Oh, they threw so many people up to the top side of the map to just deal with Haunter there. Throw out the Leona ultimate. It's the perfect time to go ahead and take this dragon. Look at this Haunter from the side.
Oh, he actually flashes directly onto the Rumble ultimate. Still slowed. Going to be taken down. The shield won't give him any assistance there. And they could keep going. Helios then onto Haunter as they trade a little bit back.
What a crazy fight. Paragon Valkyries forward just to get the heal off to possibly save Pobelter. It doesn't work out. And his consistent damage, he gets hooked by Bunny Fufu and turned the opposite direction.
He actually got a kill, Pobelter did, that is, off of that one, so the Ignite came up big for him as Helios went in for the gank. Let's see as they fight over blue now. Gravity is starting to push the buttons of Winterfox here and not giving them too much room to breathe. The wards are more so to the top side. They don't have the vision as much as they want there. It's just behind the blue, and they cannot see what they want.
Gravity, they're going to have to start pressing into these tier 2s now. They got that second dragon, so they do have the turret destruction available to them. So if Winterfox misstep again and let them get to that tier 2 inner turret, this is a composition that if you give them this gold in the mid game, the Rumble, the LeBlanc, it's going to start taking over.
It's one of the things that's rough when you play against the Rumbles. Even if it's kind of a rough game and you're like, yeah, we can fight, he's just going to throw out equalizers at the turret.
It's
no
really
way
on the
to
Rumble
stand
player
there.
Yeah, it's really on the Rumble player at that point to throw out the equalizers in an appropriate manner to make it hit as many people as possible. Because you've seen Fed Rumbles throw it off to the side, and then it's just, oh, it's nothing at that point.
Blame it on SmartCast.
Yeah.
Smart. Even the World Champs did it. Or people at Worlds, I should say.
At that point, it's not SmartCast. It's Domecast. It just flies off to the side. Well, I didn't even point it there. But the thing this game, though, is Haunter's off the ground. Even though he's in a lane swap situation, he's at 100 CS at 16 minutes. He's in good shape, and he has both of his spell penetration items that he needs to start almost doing true damage to people. So this Rumble is online for the mid game at a good pace.
This would be a really big game for Gravity to win. I apologize. They have TSM starting next week, so this Winterfox game would be a good boost.
Ooh.
They lost to CLG yesterday, so definitely need to get the wins over these teams in the middle of the pack. They themselves 6-7 here.
Rek'Sai is not here. This is a 4-on-5, so St. Vicious is going to have to come up to this top lane, use his ultimate. Good. Before this possible fight breaks out, though, Pobelter actually went for the full upgrade of the perfect Hex Core.
He did.
Which I think is suboptimal.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't have enough ranks and abilities to really make it worthwhile just yet. Getting the second upgrade is perfectly fine. The vacuum on your W is okay, but you really just need the 2. It's too much gold to dump into this item before you get something like a death cap. Usually, and I think the optimal build is go 1 upgrade, get your death laser.
Yeah.
Then get yourself a blasting wand, get yourself an easily large rod, because you're going to get that around your level 11, level 12. Then you upgrade your Q, and then you continue from there, because you'll be around level 13, and then you can make use of that. So the perfect Hex Core is he's adding a lot of utility to his kit.
Right.
He's not adding that front-loaded damage, so he's kind of hoping, for the most part, that fights don't break out for a while. And if he does, then I mean, it's a very risky build.
It's definitely his choice. It's not like he's been put in a super rough situation, right?
Yeah.
He had a bit of a hit early game, but it's still 155 to 153, and he's got a kill. All that happened was he died. So still definitely able to put up some numbers in the game. We'll see if the build has the reasoning behind it once they get into these fights, obviously.
And the perfect Hex Core actually gets more AP based on your character level. So buying it later, it
makes more sense as well there.
Yeah, it's a little more AP, a little more bang for your buck at that point. It's not as stat efficient when you buy it early on. So just throwing more things out there for the Victor players, or people who want to pick Victor up.
Absolutely. Looking at Haunter in the top lane, definitely stat efficient with the Leandries and Sork Shoes finished. Already has an ability tome to keep going on to his next item as well. 113 to 179 there. We talked about wave management, and it seemed like it was cleared up a little bit in this game, and it went in Gravity's favor.
They didn't have the same type of pressure where it's bouncing off of a turret, and you have to make sure that you don't damage the turret more than the minions. Because then at that point, it's like, oh, the turret's dead, and you still have some minions alive, and then it pushes out, and it becomes a very disastrous situation where you have to push it to tier 2 and have it bounce all the way back. So Haunter, definitely in a much better situation than he was yesterday.
Playing a big role. He is able to control the situation. He got out of situations where it looked like 3 to 4 people would gank him in the top lane. Head is in this one for all of Gravity right now, and they're trying to keep it going. Still, though, wave clear and wave management is a throughout the entire game thing you have to keep tabs on. So let's make sure they don't fall to the wayside with that. We'll keep an eye on it. 20 minutes in, it's only 2-2 as these guys, it seems like they've kind of been at each other's throats here back and forth, just not finding the fights that they want.
Yeah, it's these outer turrets that, since they've gone down, the points where you would find a fight are very slim now. They have this one turret left in the top lane for Gravity. Meanwhile, Keen, he's pushing down bottom, and then St. Vicious and Bunny are shoving mid, and he's just going to clear this wave with an equalizer. Out of position here for Winterfox.
Could be a nice swipe. They're going to have a hard time getting back to their bottom side. It could be the turret going down. At least great wards and vision placed here by Gravity. They know they aren't going to get too much more out of it as the rotation's already happening over from Winterfox. So backing on this one. This is good, though, to see from Gravity because they now have Winterfox kind of on the end of their rope. They're saying, we're going here, you got to follow us. We're going here, now you have to follow us. Winterfox kind of has to get them going to beat of their own drum.
It's a test of the shot calling to get the momentum back in your favor. Because when a team starts rolling, they're like, oh, we got some turrets. We have inside track on map control. We have the wards in the right places. Wrestling that back from them is very difficult. You can match them, but then being able to overcome their movements and then reapply pressure to the opposite, to the other team is very important. Like right now, Winterfox, they were trying to go top. Then Gravity was like, nope, we're going to go middle, and bottom, you have to answer us. And then Winterfox answered them just in time and don't lose anything. And then Gravity didn't make another move. They weren't like, Haunter, keep shoving top, keep applying pressure to pull them back. So they didn't continue that assault, and instead were like, we should back up, possibly look for a fight in the near future. And look at this Keen. Keen's doing damage to this turret, but they want to fight here. He already got it.
Just getting pulled around left and right. Top wave is going to start pushing in favor of Gravity as well. Figured that would be a good place for Avalon to be.
Oh, they're all grouped up.
Haunters, right down the channel. That was a beautiful equalizer. Everybody's pretty much forced to disengage from Winterfox on that one, and Gravity just starts picking their targets left and right. Only able to find Helios still in range. Keen should be okay on this one. Another dark passage to the light there from Bunny Fufu for Keen, and what a start by Haunter to that one.
It's a great time to pick a fight too, because the dragon was coming up, and now they get to take it without a contest. Amazing equalizer. We were talking about how the equalizer is on the Rumble player at that point. You have your items, he's online. You gotta land it perfectly, and that was a really good equalizer, blowing a lot of flashes.
And see where Winterfox focuses. They have how many wards towards the top side of this map? Everything's going on at the bottom. Gravity was really able to take that because all eyes are around the bottom side of that map. 3, 4, 5, 6 wards and a pink.
Yeah, that ward coverage is going to allow them to see the movements and also react accordingly. Like right now, they see Avalon top lane. It's clear to back. He has to deal with this wave. They get this free recall because of the wave they shoved up. Now they get to buy their items, they get to purchase, and then continue their assault. They got that middle turret down, which this is your ideal lane to shove up because it gives you better tracks to move between top and bottom once you get the ward coverage.
Gravity definitely wanting to get the win back on this one. This match happened all the way back in week 1 and was the win for Winterfox. That was Pobelter rocking the Fizz that game. What was he, 7-0-6? That was actually banned by Winterfox this game because they didn't want to go against the Fizz either. So
that was Fizz was a little different back then.
This is true. But Gravity, they're putting their foot down here. They want to get a win out of this one. 3-2 as the kills, they're coming in slowly, but Gravity is making sure they find a lot more on the map. Nicely done without getting those kills. Always a hard task. You try to avoid the other team and get what you want, but it's definitely an impressive one.
They're setting up a lot of awards. They're trying to set up the wards on Gravity's side all the way up in Winterfox's jungle so that they can move between mid and top, threaten your inhib turret, threaten your tier 2, back and forth between them. So this is really good by the team because you saw them buy a bunch of wards on Keen and Cop when they backed, and St. Vicious with his Sight Stone. But look at this. Cop Paragon, he's so far forward.
That's going to be the teleport to the tunnel of Rek'Sai. Haunters into the fight now. Watch them tunnel in. Here comes the equalizer now. They walked right into it. Avalon, Helios, all cooking down on that one. Pobelter able to spit out great laser damage from the backside, but Keen, he's also floating around here on the side of the stage, and it looks like he may be ready to go back in, but the team, they all disengage, so that will not happen. We go for 1 for 3.
Paragon on the front line gets caught out, but he immediately escapes without having to use any of his summoners. And then the team comes back through. But we'll talk about that in a second because Cop, he's caught out now.
That's a dodge. A lot of damage missed out by Paragon. Whee! Money Fufu everywhere he needs to be with that Dark Passage.
With that Thresh, one of his favorite champions. I know when he was making a name for himself, he was always on that champion. And he wasn't just a player who's like, I can land really good hooks. He's like, I can land really good hooks. My flay positioning to stop and stunt abilities was top tier. And then how he's getting those lanterns in too.
Oh, the lantern's the safety, the lantern's the pressure. Saint definitely not expecting the teleport to come back on that one. Winterfox almost grabs a kill off a nice TP to disengage.
Keen is bottom right now, shoving waves, and they haven't dealt with him yet. Helios has to go towards that bottom lane. And there we go. Keen is actually going to back off and not apply pressure to this turret.
Control that wave management, man. Gravity making sure that it's kind of like a rule of thumb. Keep it past the river, we'll be all right. They're doing a good job so far. Let's take a look at this again.
This is a beautiful equalizer here. This is one of those things where you look for the opportunity, you don't try to force it, but right here, it's like, boom, let's hit 4 people across the line. Beautiful placement there. Pobelter has to duck under it to get into the fight, and then he sees the threat of Keen off on the right, so he can't continue. LeBlanc's biggest job right there was to put pressure onto Victor, put pressure onto Pobelter. So Keen, even though he wasn't blowing people up, he was still the threat because his zone had to be respected.
No, we keep talking about that Rumble ulti. We also talk about it missing. If it does miss and Pobelter can hit a nice Chaos Storm, that ult is also pretty game-changing for a fight from Victor. So we saw that just at the end was the reason Gravity started peeling out. Pobelter can hit that, get it to stick in the jungle. It's going to be tough. Then you're also looking at the equalizer. So many things they have to be careful of. Got a few more kills in for Gravity. Obviously going to make them more confident. And this year, once they have that confidence, they have not been afraid to keep making moves. This lane that's been constantly pressured here in the bottom now by Keen. Looks like everybody's going to take suit there, follow him, and start pressuring that up.
The ward control is trying to be wrestled back here.
Yeah.
Gravity has all of it in this bottom side. Their threat of a 5th dragon is pretty much just 13 minutes away if they continue to get these dragons. That would be very, very early on.
And that makes the bigger threat of a dragon even more. Carry half HP. The support's going to take a few shots as well. They're just trying to get a little love tap damage on before they start this one to make it easier.
They're here really early, too. They show up a minute in advance.
That's true.
Just to poke them out. Just to stop them from getting ward coverage.
Things get weird in that situation.
Hey, just talked about how Bunny Fufu has really good flays to stunt move blocks. Does it again right there.
Yep.
Everything about his Thresh is very well-rounded. He's not just one of those players where it's like, I got one thing I'm good at on Thresh. He's good at it all.
See it over and over again. He makes a good case for it. Still holding strong. Obviously, Winterfox knows it's going to be the fight here for Dragon, so they're keeping themselves poised for this. But the wards very much in favor of Gravity in this one.
Double wards.
Double wards everywhere. More.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
There's going to be a ward fight. Keen a little too close. Keen laying on the ground by himself. The team turns tide here, and it looks like Dragon may actually go to Winterfox. An error chalked up for Gravity there.
Butterfingers on that one,
yeah.
Keen. That's going to stop that Dragon from going over them. Saint, he can try it, but he doesn't have Flash. He'll have to get a Lantern. And nope. Winterfox get their first Dragon of the game and stop the threat of a 5th.
That was actually huge. To stop that Dragon relieved so much pressure for Winterfox. I would have put him on the Iron Lung wait for number 5.
Yes, Gravity, they put so much time into that too. And Keen messes it up with the W, goes back, and then snaps back to the other one. It was very strange how he just made a zigzag line. Basically made a triangle.
He was confused by all the wards.
it's one of those things where you hit your W and then your R, and then you forgot that you hit one of them,
right?
And you swap it back.
You take the wrong one.
Yeah, you take the wrong one.
Unfortunate. Definitely a situation that can happen when you're trying to make those plays. Very easy. Get messed up in those finger movements.
Oof. But like I was saying, they gave up so much for that in terms of time on Gravity's side, because they had all the ward coverage in Winterfox's right side jungle on their east side, and they dedicated about 3 minutes to it, 2 minutes, where they warded it up, pink warded it, swept everything, and then they made battle lines where they stopped Winterfox from reestablishing their presence on that side. And that's why they were there 2 minutes early, a minute early, because they just wanted to stop Winterfox from getting in there.
Yeah, most of those wards are still there.
Yeah, and then Winterfox on the way out get to clean up some pink wards, get to basically get back what they were denied for 3 minutes. And they get a dragon on the back of it. So Keen, that one misplay, handing a little bit of life to Winterfox over there.
That's all it takes. I know how it feels.
Yeah.
4K in the lead now for Gravity. Hopefully no more misplays is what they are thinking coming into these next few minutes.
Here's the thing, too, is you can't let that get to you either. Because if you're playing on this stage and you're nervous about that and you mess up, and you can't have a team that's going to bring you down. These guys got to encourage him, got to keep him up.
Especially when you're on a champion like LeBlanc, who now has her Void Staff and can pop people. You have to be sure that you can go in.
It's her time to shine, and he needs the confidence to make moves like that, but not exactly like that.
Well, we'll see if the first spike curbs his intentions any after that death. 2-1-2 for him, 270. Actually, great CS in the mid lane by both of those guys. Pobelter at 266, even with the pressure that he had, kept strong in this game for the team. Crab control here for Saint. It's going to give Gravity and the rest of the team a little bit more run around. So they push Winterfox off for now, but things are only getting tighter in this game. Next dragon is going to have to be contested because it will mean number 4 for Gravity still. And that 5 looms on the horizon. Saint Vicious, very aggressive. I guess they have the vision for it.
There's a big wave in the top side that Gravity have to go deal with. They're going to have Cop go soak that up. But Pobelter finally hitting his death cap Abyssal Scepter on top of his perfect Hex score. So this is the item build that you should have at this point. The build path, he didn't get punished for it that much. It wasn't like, we're going to keep fighting you and keep fighting you because you don't have this much AP. Now he's online. Now this Victor can start taking over and blowing people up. And they're going to put a lot of resources into protecting Pobelter. Because he's not that assassin that can get in and out, he's a mid-range mage who has zone control.
Right. Still has to watch his positioning a little bit, unless he's the one just controlling the storm. Still got to watch out for that Chaos Storm ultimate. Really have a big factor on it. Looking around sweepers, wards, and trinkets. Getting some upgrades here, more so on the side of Winterfox. Good to see. Keeping those sweepers and trinkets upgraded to make sure they don't lose too much vision. The pink wards are still coming out, more so now in places that Winterfox can keep those alive. They're losing a lot of money having to replace those over and over again.
The ward coverage here, it's really scarce at the moment for Gravity. A lot of their wards are getting cleared and expiring. They need to reestablish that. And Winterfox are doing a good job of keeping up some pinks in crucial areas. They have the Baron under their control, but a lot of it is up towards the top side. The Dragon is in 2 minutes, and we saw Gravity are very comfortable with going in here 2 minutes early.
Yeah.
And trying to force them out and keeping them out so that they allow the wards that might be in there to expire, even without sweepers.
Well, it's kind of the tell. This also should allow Winterfox to set back up themselves again. They got the kill on Keen last time, but that was the mistake. I don't think we'll see that. Okay, Paragon's going to back. I thought he'd get a little bit more of a push on them.
But this is kind of the right play, because when you see them setting up at the Dragon 2 minutes before it's up, you have to go somewhere else. You have to allow them or punish them for that move. You have to like apply pressure to the top side of the map, which pulls one person, 2 people, whoever, away from the Dragon. And then you get to group up as 5 and possibly start something.
Great use here of Void Rush if necessary. They send Rek'Sai top lane. Haunter's going to stick with the team in the bottom for a little bit of siege pressure on the turret if they need it. And Saint's going to get a pretty good push on this. The team does not look like they're going to leave bottom for Gravity. They're going to force Winterfox to spread themselves thin here if Saint keeps going. Not the quickest pusher, but it looks like he'll stick with it.
His nearest tunnel to the fight that would happen.
Not too bad.
Is not that bad at all.
Right by that blue. for the side of Winterfox. They decide to back off. That was the pressure just for Dragon here. And again, this kind of not really a game of respect just yet. They obviously respect the fight of Winterfox, but they don't want to take anything until they get their dragons. Gravity is really set on that.
He's going to keep pushing, though. He might not be as set on it as we would think. He's going to continue to apply pressure to the top. Now they're going to shove out the mid wave a couple seconds before the dragon comes up. They might be okay just giving up this dragon for turret pressure.
You're right. He definitely stuck with it. Still has the tunnels to get back to the team if necessary. And Saint solo top turret going coast to coast on that one to help break down the second tier turret. One more left in the bottom lane for Winterfox. They're starting to lose a lot. Global Gold going over to Gravity now with all those turrets. It's just going to make them too much to handle.
Avalon doesn't go up top to answer, and they give up the dragon to Gravity. Very, very weird play there from Winterfox. Very kind of Gravity is running them around the map.
Especially with that, would we or could we have seen? Oh, wait a minute. Going on to Hanser. This would be a huge hit for them. Keen is still alive. He can still Hanser gets out and the equalizer goes down. That means there could be a re-engage. That's from Cop and Bunny Fufu. Saint's already in the fight trying to tank the entire team. Paragon's on the backside. Gets hooked out. Bunny Fufu with the laser shot. They're able to completely ace Winterfox. Wow.
That fight was Bunny Fufu from start to finish there. Amazing plays on that Thresh. And Hanser still surviving and dealing more damage after the fight. Just Gravity with a great push all the way down the mid lane here. They're going to get an inhibitor turret for this.
I thought to myself, would Bunny Fufu make plays this game? I wonder. He has Thresh, you know, it's common. And oh my word, all the lanterns he's been throwing, that mid-fight hook to make sure he locked down Paragon on a champion that's quite slippery as an AD carry. Plays all around. See it again.
This is just absolutely beautiful.
Hanser was dead to rights here.
Flash E. And yeah, dead to rights, exactly. This point, he gets the lantern out. Keen immediately, it's like, tag me in, bro. Blows up Pobelter. And then the hook onto Altec. And then Bunny Fufu comes back into the fight just to continue it. And Hanser still able to output damage at this point. That
predicted that.
Wow.
Threw it to the right. Paragon walked right into it. Big step up there. It's what the fans are waiting for, the explosion fight, and it looked like Winterfox had it on the initiation.
It's vision control, though. This is all vision control for Gravity because Winterfox don't see those members coming from the fog of war.
Right, they saw
don't have
just
those
a rumble.
wards.
They were just fighting Hanser.
Yeah, they don't have deep wards. They don't even have shallow wards. Speaking of not seeing Hanser, he's behind them right now.
Oh, man. Laying down the equalizer in their escape path. They're kind of forced to stay under the turret, taking a few shots. Avalon takes those hits. Cop able to deliver the DPS on the back line as they are pushing Paragon down on the back line of Winterfox. This is giving the AD carries, regular carries on the side of Gravity, all the time to just fire off their DPS.
Beautiful flank from Hanser there. Doesn't even have to use TP to execute it. It's the ward coverage again from Winterfox. And Hanser's just going to pick up another kill for himself here. Get the farm, Avalon.
Starting forest fires. Oh.
Oh.
And it looks like they're getting themselves in position for the Baron here. Be taking this guy down easily there, uncontested after the ace onto Winterfox, and Gravity really putting their foot down here, coming out 35 minutes in. The last 2 minutes have been completely theirs as they run away with the game.
And big props to Gravity as a team so far, because Winterfox has a composition that they want a Cataclysm and then throw the Chaos Storm right on top of it. And that actually happens here. You see the Cataclysm come down and then the Chaos Storm immediately on top of this damage pile. And they're just trying to deal as much damage as possible from Pobelter, but he gets blown up. He is the priority target here on that Victor, and they're just taking advantage of his positioning. When you flank a Victor, you cut off all his escape options, and he has to be very tanky at that point. And Victors rarely get tanky, especially this early on.
That was basically the same fight, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much the same thing.
So crazy.
Over again.
Oh, big plays coming out. Gravity knows they can take these now. The confidence is going to start leading in. I definitely didn't see that Keen was shook off that first misplay we saw that almost gave Winterfox a bit of an edge back into this one.
He's still going. He's like, I got this.
Don't worry.
It's not going to tilt me. He's good.
He repaired it. Just a flat tire. Get it fixed up. Right back in it. 2 minutes on to Dragon. That will put Gravity in their final form with Baron as well. And with this push, it does not look like the inhibitor turret will last very long here.
The Baron's going to last about the time that it'll take them to end up establishing control of the dragon, getting that 5th dragon for them. So these are very well-timed objectives around each other.
Good point.
Cop, he's been CSing like mad this game. The fact that they're shoving sideways. Gravity played against CLG the other day, and I'm almost positive they went, we need to work on our wave management. We need to work on shoving side waves and allowing those to build pressure that Winterfox has to answer. And then while they're answering it, you take something else. You pressure something else. Getting ward control of somebody's jungle is an objective in and of its own. Don't always have to get a turret.
They've kept it going all game long. Also, the threat of this pressure across the map, the omnipresence of St. Vicious as well as Haunter being able to get everywhere they want. And Winterfox really cannot answer, having to send Paragon over alone. Can get some wave clear out. It looks like Saint is just going to get enough minions in to keep doing slight damage to the turret with the Baron buff on. This is the struggle here Winterfox has to work with. For 40 more seconds, then they might get some breathing room, but then they're going to have to fight for Dragon.
It's hardly breathing room. That's like coming up for air when you're diving.
Push her back down.
Oh.
15-6. Looks like more kills to be racked up here. 505 for Cop on this Graves pickup. Also picked himself up the Quicksilver Sash to make sure he's not a target of all tech or Avalon. There's always the chance that the fight goes in the favor, especially at these turrets. They do quite a bit of damage to your tanks, even if they get underneath them. Slow going for Gravity. Definitely good to see as well that they're not struck, or forcing themselves, I should say, to push into a bad situation.
Yeah, they're going to keep these waves shoved up, and Cop is actually going to solo the last dragon so that they can continue wave pressure, not give that up, and then they can reconvene. They'll shove the side waves out, and then they'll go middle, take that.
Full
Is that the 5th dragon?
That's the... Oh, so they're not full form. You're right, the Baron wore off just in time. That is the 5th dragon, however. 5, not 3. And they are going to be rolling into the base. It could be kind of a last-ditch effort here for Winterfox. If they can get a fight, the crowd control is going to have to come from Avalon and Alltech. So eyes on the tanks.
Winterfox...
Helios can get in there, but he might pop quite quick.
Winterfox have fallen short in ward control, team fighting, and objective wave management. Gravity has had their number at every turn.
Wave clear from Pole Belter's laser is keeping Gravity at bay for only a few more minutes. The Gravity field goes out as well to stop the minions. So much damage off the collateral damage to start the fight.
You get that 2 damage burn, and they just muscle this turret down immediately.
It looks like they're going to be heading for the Nexus, Irene. 42 minutes on this one. Aspect of the Dragon, still quite a bit of time to burn here for Gravity, and they say, let's take a deep breath. We got more to take, just more on the map. There's camps that spawn.
There's more gold to take on this map and to deny from Winterfox.
Yeah.
They're just going to systematically tear them apart, go for the victory that is methodical, get all of their base, get their inhibitors. Winterfox, they might have to make a last stand right here.
Also, a little bit of more practice with this composition. It worked out very well for Gravity. As I said, they're taking this game back to go 1-1 on Winterfox if they can capitalize here, bring themselves to 7-7 in the standings. Right now, Winterfox is staving just that off. Pole Belter's been able to farm throughout this game to 408, but not getting the kills that he needed did not catapult him into the position of a carry for the team. It's up to these last chances here, Irene. It's going to be very tough. Only those Nexus turrets stand with this last inhibitor turret in their eyes.
They're waiting for minion waves, not just in this lane, because they're not walking up to hit the turret. They're waiting for them to hit the base. And Winterfox, they can't get the engage they're looking for. That's Righteous Glory and Solar Flare blown. That might be the go for Gravity to just walk up now over and over again with the QSS on Cop. So if he gets caught, he still has a way to get out.
Oh, Bunny Fufu wanted the hook, so Winterfox knows that they are not afraid to start the siege under the turret if necessary, and I don't think it's going to last this wave. There's one hook. Pole Belter gets hit. The flash in from St. Vicious, and he deletes Pole Belter. The rest of the team's going to fly through on this one, and it is St. Vicious again to the back line, just being a brute for Gravity this game. The ace comes up as Bunny Fufu solidifies the last kill, and the Nexus turrets are finally in reach for Gravity to start tearing them apart. A very slow game to start this one off, but it was just both teams trying to find what they wanted, and the door opened for Gravity in the mid game. They take down Winterfox.
Very clean lane swap this game. No advantages given over. Instead,
point.
Gravity dictating the pace of the early game and the mid game. One mistake from Keen, and that's it. It didn't affect him. Shook it off. Now they're 7-7. They're actually tied with Liquid again.
Oh, that they are. It's going to be the forever fight now between those teams instead of forever fourth. So Gravity with the win, the hug, the AD carries, and the supports. Obviously, they know what it's like to switch back and forth. They do it. We fill in queue. But a great game played once again coming out from Gravity. Bunny Fufu on point with Thresh all game long, and St. Vicious taking things into his own hands in the late game. It was kind of a one for each part of the game. We saw Bunny Fufu doing good things. Then we had the Rumble ultimates from Poncer in that mid game. St. Vicious going crazy in that game.
St. Vicious had a lot of kill participation in this game, and then when he got to split push, he just continued to pressure that lane, and there was no answer for him at that point. You can see they're happy about his performance.
Very happy indeed. Winterfox going to 5-9, still chances to climb in the standings. They face Team 8 and Team Impulse next week. Impulse is looking very strong, so they're definitely going to have to look to that match. And Team 8 as well. They've been grabbing themselves some wins over the past few weeks. So tough games at the end here, and every team, they don't want to give up anything.
No,
so definitely playing hard.
There's only 18 games in the season. After today, there will only be 5 more for these two teams.
Yep.
So every win counts for climbing up those standings, especially since most teams are 1 or 2 games apart. So there's a lot of movement that can happen if a team just has a nice surge.
It's true. Looking at these games, as I said, Gravity has TSM to start next week. It'll be, or start when we get back, obviously. It'll be nice to watch those guys at Katowice and kind of get an inside look at what they're trying to do, what they could bring back when they come home.
TSM actually currently has the Linear Championship belt. They got it back today from TSM, and now it's going to go internationally. Where's it going to go?
I don't know.
That's what I'm excited about.
The belt gets switched all the time. But so the end of this split has shown that teams are trying new things, but they're also shoring up weaknesses. Maybe that, you know, they're finding that come out from what we say on the desk. That was wave management cleared. Now, they weren't like, they talked about wave management. I'm sure it was all over Reddit. It was all over everything, but they are taking it into consideration, and we're seeing these things be fixed.
They have a coach and an analyst who are probably going to break it down for them. I trust LS to look at these types of things and be like, that is
us.
it was us all along, you know? It's free league advice.
That's right. We're going to go and throw it over to the guys on our analyst desk to see what else they want and break down Gravity's win.
I feel like we can just let Reddit do that.
More free advice.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Free advice.
Just tilt them.
the free advice strategy. I like it. All right, I do want to talk about both sides here. So first, let's kind of dive into Gravity. We had amazing Rumble ultimates by Hanser multiple times in the jungle, really finding the right placement to entirely zone carries, but also effectively lay down the most damage possible. And then Bunny Fufu, nailing hooks on priority targets, mid-team fight, great lantern placement. So individually, I have to say that they kind of stepped up some of their play in this game.
Yeah, I did like the play from Gravity this game. You know, St. Vicious also got to farm a lot. He's always happy when he gets to do that.
All right.
But I do kind of feel like they made it easy for him to land these great equalizers, right? They kept on funneling up, clumping up into small patches, and it kind of feels like Winterfox are a bit lost after their roster swap. Yeah. They've lost a lot of power from the bottom lane, it feels like.
There was a big discrepancy in vision control this game, and Alltech has looked good in lane both of the games he's played on Leona, and he knows how to command the champion. But one thing you never get from playing a fill role in solo queue is competitive 5v5 vision control. Sweeper accuracy, where you're going to put your wards. He even had a Ruby Sightstone earlier.
Very early.
It made
very
no
early.
difference in their ward coverage. It was severely outclassed.
Yeah, I mean, instead of like the first time that he was coming in as a support role, but that's something that really takes a long time to learn, is how to use the sweeper late game and where you're going to actually use it. The accuracy definitely has a big effect on the map, and we saw it multiple times. Yeah. They rushed into these fights or plays without the proper vision, and Pobelter, not on an assassin champion, seemed like it was even trying to use Victor like an assassin, flashing forward and trying to get the kills. But then Gravity doing a great job of turning it around on them.
Let's look at an example of that. We're going to go to the mid lane about 35 minutes into the game. This ends up being a 5-0 in favor of Gravity, but off of the Winterfox initiation.
Okay, yeah. So this is one of those situations where they're going into the dark side of the map. They have no, previous wards set up here, but they see an opportunity. So I'll take jumps on it.
Yeah, I think they were super desperate in this one because they'd just been walking around for so long without vision, so they saw someone and they went.
And there's a double flash forward from Alltech and Pobelter trying to go in for an assassination, but Bunny Fufu, once again, as you pointed out, great lanterns all came along, saves the assassination target, and then an easy turnaround here for Gravity. They just pile on.
That hook on Paragon right there.
Yeah.
After a hook onto Alltech, so 2 consecutive hooks with the lantern
And
save.
he lives!
Everyone getting out with a sliver of health there. And that's, as you said, that's important to note that was them going into poor vision control and having it turned around on them. I think the next thing you have to look at is
what do you do next?
The decision making following a lost team fight like that. So we're going to get our second replay up. Jat,
yes,
please.
This was a very bad decision as a team from Winterfox. It's exactly the same fight. They didn't have time to set up vision control. This one's actually worse because they've already lost the fight and they're down to the inhibitor. We can just roll this right now because this is one of the worst strategic calls you can make as a team without vision control, is just go right back and fight another 5v5 where you just lost it. But this time, you're not even starting with the catch. Winterfox is just saying, all right, we're going to stand by their turret. They're going to come to us. What did they think was going to happen? They're not going to win the fight the second time around. At this point, I feel like they just lost all hope. This was one of the worst calls I've seen Winterfox make all year.
Yeah, it's one of those situations in solo queue or something like that. You don't really know what else to do, right? You just lost. You're like, well, maybe if we do it again this time, something will play out differently and we'll win the fight.
Yeah, we're down to the inhibitor. Push mid. That way our inhibitor's fine. It's just
They even seem like, we saw the activation of the
Righteous Glory.
Righteous Glory. They're trying to run away with it, but it doesn't work that way. You can only get your speed when you're running towards them. So they're like, well, nowhere to go except for back in.
Mm-hmm. And again, back on Gravity's side, it was basically taking advantage of those fights. There wasn't, I don't think there's a whole lot else to say. This is not to take away from Gravity's win, but more so that they did what they needed to do to clean up the fights that were given to them by Winterfox.
I really wonder what Winterfox is going to be doing inside their own camp, because when we hear about these role swaps, Alltech wanted to play support. We give him time to develop because he's never played the support role. What I didn't expect was Paragon to look so lackluster in AD carry. I really wonder what's happening inside that organization right now to be making these decisions. Obviously, it is 2 games. Don't want to be too harsh too early, but that's now a 5-game losing streak. The changes keep resulting in worse and worse play. I wonder what they're going to do.
Yep, got to be some turmoil, and we're getting into crunch time, so they need to make a final decision on their roster at least soon. Well, we've got one more match coming your way with Counter Logic Gaming versus Team Coast, so don't touch that mouse, because we'll be right back after this.
It's time for our 4th match of the day. That's Gravity versus Winterfox. Oh, right down the channel. That was a beautiful equalizer. Everybody's pretty much forced to disengage from Winterfox on that one. That's going to be the teleport to the tunnel of Rek'Sai. Haunters into the fight now. Watch them funnel in. Here comes the equalizer now. They walked right into it.
Careful coming to this choke. They're going
on Rumble. They're going on Rumble.
Yeah, Victor.
Rumble, got it. I'm moving around.
I'm out. Victor's dead.
I go Victor. Leona's dead.
Corky.
Yep. I healed.
I'm on the front line.
Maokai. Corky. Come on, Corky. Corky's dead.
Maokai, nice. Good shit. Go make.
There's one hook. Pobelter gets hit.
Oh!
The flash in from Safe Vicious, and he deletes Pobelter. The rest of the team's going to fly through on this one. The door open for Gravity in the mid game. They take down Winterfox.